The house at the end of the street. People on the street like to say that the house at the end was peaceful. Not lively, not noisy, not one of those compounds where generators roared all night and arguments spilled into the gutters. Just calm. Too calm. Lewa married Psalmist with her eyes open. She knew what it meant, a Yoruba woman stepping into an Igbo family that held tightly to its ways, its pride, its structure. But Psalmist was different, or so she believed. Gentle, thoughtful, not loud, not controlling. "I just want peace," he had told her one evening before the wedding. Lewa had nodded. Me too. And she meant it. The first sign came a week after the wedding. Mama did not leave. It was said casually, like something already decided. "In our compound," Mama said one afternoon, adjusting her blouse as she sat in the living room, "the mother stays to train the wife." Lewa paused where she stood. "Train?" Mama smiled, thin but firm. "Yes. How else will you know how we do things?" Psalmist avoided her eyes. Lewa nodded slowly. "Okay, ma." She chose peace. Mama did not just stay. She settled. It began with questions. "How much do you earn?" Lewa looked up from where she was arranging her work bag. "Why do you ask, ma?" Mama shrugged. "I am your mother now. I should know." Lewa smiled politely. "It's personal, ma." The silence that followed was heavy. Mama did not like that answer. Then came the kitchen. "I will teach you our food," Mama announced one morning. Lewa agreed. She listened, watched, learned. Ofe nsala, oha soup, bitter leaf. She even asked questions. Mama softened, just a little, until the day Lewa cooked alone. Mama stood behind her, watching. No, don't do it like that." Lewa didn't turn immediately. "This is how I make it, ma." Mama frowned. "That is not how we make it." Lewa turned then, her voice still calm. "I understand, ma, but this is how I make mine." That was the first time Mama truly saw her. Not just a quiet wife, but a woman with boundaries. The house shifted after that, subtly. Mama began to interfere in everything. The way Lewa dressed. "Why are you wearing this kind of thing? You are a married woman now." The time she came home. "Why are you coming back this late? What kind of work is that?" The way she greeted. "You didn't greet me well this morning." Each complaint small, each one constant. Then came the friend. Lewa's friend visited one Saturday afternoon. They laughed in the sitting room, catching up on life, work, the small things that made everything bearable. Mama watched from a distance, quiet, observing. That evening, when Psalmist returned, Mama spoke. In front of Lewa. "I don't like that friend of hers." Psalmist blinked. "Which friend?" "That one that came today. She's not suitable." The room went still. Lewa said nothing. "She should filter her friends," Mama continued. "Not everybody should be entering this house." Psalmist shifted uncomfortably. "Mama, I am just saying." Lewa stood up quietly. "I'm going to bed." She didn't wait for a response. The next issue was bigger. Land documents. Mama brought it up one evening as if it were a simple suggestion. "You should give me your documents to keep. This land, after all, it is my son's property." Lewa looked at her, then at Psalmist, then back at Mama. "We both own the property, ma." Mama's smile faded. "And we will keep our documents ourselves. You don't need to worry." The words were respectful, but firm, final. Mama's eyes hardened. That night, she called her daughters, Anita, Zendaya. She told them everything. They arrived without warning. Lewa came back from work that evening, tired, her heels heavy against the floor. She opened the door and stopped. Mama, Anita, Zendaya, all seated comfortably in the living room, laughing as if they lived there. They turned as she entered. "Oh, you are back," Anita said. Zendaya smiled. "What are you cooking for us?" Lewa blinked. "I didn't know you were coming." Mama waved a hand. "Does that matter? They are your husband's sisters." Lewa placed her bag down slowly. "I'll order food for tonight, and tomorrow I'll provide money so one of you can cook." The room changed. Anita frowned. "Order food? Fast food?" Zendaya scoffed. "We don't eat that." "You will have to cook," Anita added. Lewa looked at them, said nothing, picked up her bag, and went to her room. She had just fallen asleep when the door burst open. 11 p.m. Zendaya stood there. "You need to come and cook." Lewa sat up slowly. Her voice when it came was no longer soft. "Don't ever try that again." Zendaya blinked. "If you are hungry, go and cook for yourself." The door closed, firm. Morning came with complaints. They said you are rude, Psalmist told her. Lewa looked at him. Then she spoke, calm, clear. Your family has to leave. Psalmist sighed. You know it's not that simple. It is. Her eyes held his. I have been patient, I have been respectful, but this cannot continue. He looked away. Months passed. Nothing changed. So Lewa did. 5 months into the marriage, she made a decision. I will stop contributing to feeding the house. Psalmist frowned. What do you mean? They assume it is only your money feeding them. Let it be so. Month 6, the food finished. Rice, beans, gari, noodles, palm oil, all gone. No replacements. When Psalmist asked, she answered simply, it was budgeted for a month. It has finished. She began eating before coming home. When she returned to a kitchen piled high with dirty plates, she walked past, straight to her room. Work, salon, home, sleep. That became her rhythm. Electricity finished 10 days into the month. 50,000 naira gone. Lewa bought a small rechargeable fan for herself. Nothing more. Diesel finished. She said nothing. The 3rd car broke down, used carelessly. She didn't get involved. By the 9th month, she had completely changed. She locked her door before leaving for work, hid her car keys, moved quietly, spent carefully. She split the household expenses 6 ways, paid her 1/6, left the rest. How Psalmist managed it was not her concern. Still, she warned him, gently, repeatedly, let them leave. I don't want to take drastic steps. He didn't listen until he traveled 2 months, and the house finally spoke. Mama called him. Your wife is suffering us. Psalmist was quiet. Then he said slowly, Mommy, I think you should go back to Papa. Silence. But the real shift came with Ada. Ada had been watching from a distance, listening, observing. She didn't interfere until she did. When she arrived, the house changed immediately. Not because she shouted, but because she didn't need to. She listened first, to Mama, to Anita, to Zendaya, then to Lewa, quietly, carefully. That evening, she called everyone into the living room, even Lewa. She started with Psalmist. You are failing as a husband. The words landed heavy. You don't protect your home. You don't set boundaries. You are allowing confusion. Psalmist said nothing. Then she turned to Anita and Zendaya. This is not your house. They shifted. Yes, it is your brother's house, but it is his wife's home. Silence. You cannot come here and behave like this. Finally, she faced Mama. You have your own home, your own husband. Mama opened her mouth. Ada raised her hand. Go back to your husband. The room went still. It ended that simply. No shouting, no drama, just truth. Ada ensured Anita and Zendaya left with her the same day. Mama followed the next day. The house returned to what it had always been. Psalmist tried to repair things. Lewa allowed what she wanted, ignored what she didn't. She remained respectful, calm, controlled, but she no longer carried what wasn't hers. The house at the end of the street stayed the same. No noise, no visible conflict. Nothing ever happened there.